Hi everyone, welcome back to Primotimes. My name is Phil, and I ran into a bit of a problem a few weeks back. It was very cold out for 3 or 4 days. I'm talking really cold. Like the warmest it got was 15 degrees below freezing, and the coldest it got was about 28 to 30 degrees below freezing. Not fun. And during this period of time, it just so happened that nature tossed a nice little snowstorm at us. Now, as most people will know, in this part of the country, around the 49th parallel and below, when you get a snowstorm, it typically warms up just a tad. It makes the snow heavy or even wet, and Bob's your uncle. But the only advantage of having a snowstorm at 25 or 20 degrees below freezing is that it's totally a powder. Very, very fine. It does not compact. You can't make snowballs. You can't make snowmen. None of that stuff. So what ended up happening was I went for morning coffee at about 4:30 a.m. or so. Hung out with my usual friends, Rick included, and by the way, he's going to stop by again in a bit today to hang out. So what happened is I drove up there in this snowstorm. I look in my rearview mirrors, all you can see is white. It is so powdery. It is just horrendous. And it's snowing about half an inch per hour. And I went and had coffee, and then I was done coffee, so I drove home. And the diesel heater was running, and it had been running for about 2.5 months at this point, just perfectly. Aces. This Planar Autoterm heater, amazing. Love them. That's why I bought a second one right down here in a box. And that is a larger one, and that will be put into place sometime in the short future. Anyhow, I get home, I park, I go inside. It's about 6:30 or 7 a.m. And I spend part of the day inside. Many hours later, I come back out to the ambulance and the heater is off. It's not running. So I try to restart it several times. Nothing. It's smoking a bit, outside. It's doing its normal start procedure, but it won't kick off. It's not starting up. I could not for the life of me figure out what was going on. So I was done with that day. I did my errands. I came back home, parked. The next day I come back out and I'm like, oh, maybe the heater will work today. So I give the heater a try. I turn it on several times. Nothing. Now I realize something's going on that's not really good here at all, and I don't know what it is. What I ended up doing was grabbing the fuel pump, it's right over there, for the second heater, and I connected it up to the output of this heater so that the heater would run, the glow plug would glow, it would get hot, but no fresh fuel would go into the heater body, because I figured I'm starting to flood the heater. Well, did I flood the heater? Holy moly, I flooded the heater. I flooded the heater so badly that diesel fuel was literally dripping out of the air intake line from the outside, and it put a big stain on the outside of the ambulance from all of that. Holy mackerel. So I realized that the snow in the air intake probably melted a bit, turned to ice. Some of it probably, as water, got sucked into the burn chamber, and that's not good. Anywho, so we're going to have to remove the glow plug and the screen, which goes around the glow plug in the burn chamber, or where it starts to burn. I've already ordered a new glow plug, a couple of new screens, and that's it at the moment. And we're going to see if we can get it working from what we can do with the heater in place. It's still in the floor. And then we'll go from there. So, quite a mess. Let's get going on the heater, and I'll guide you as we go through this as to what's going to happen. Yeah. So that's where the glow plug goes in here. We're going to now try and get the little screen out of there. Just well, it is the next day. Temperatures today are still going to be remaining fairly comfortable. The efforts in getting that screen, the little part out of the heater, were unsuccessful. I've not had this heater apart, and it is different from the Chinese heaters. There is very little service information available online for these units. So at any sort of efforts we're going to put trying to tear at it from this side while it's sitting on the floor are useless. So we're going to be, Rick is graciously going to be helping again today. We're going to have to lift the heater off the floor, which involves disconnecting the air intake underneath, the fuel line, and the exhaust. All of the power connectors I can disconnect up top because that's how I designed it, so that's easy, and it keeps the connectors clean. Anyhow, we're going to have to lift the heater up, take the control board off. Let me just show you. Ow. Pain today is doing its thing, but hopefully we'll survive. All right, let me put you right here. Okay, here's the heater. So the control board right here, that will have to, and it's easy, it's just one screw, then that lifts off to the side. The power cables, connectors, all those are right here. That's easy. And then it's just a matter of the 4 screws which hold on the base plate, and then the heater will lift up. Once it's lifted up, then there are 4 screws holding the back fan assembly and fuel and air intake onto the combustion chamber. Those will be removed and go from there. You know what? I still really like this heater. None of these issues are concerning me about the quality of the Autoterm Planar heater units. This whole thing was caused by me because I kept trying to restart the heater a lot over a few days, and every start sequence was putting more diesel fuel into the burn chamber and flooding the unit, and there was no turning back at that point. So I have an intruder. There we go. So that's what's going to happen today, and we'll get a go at it as soon as possible. Okay.
No wonder it never lit.
Dr. Rick and Nurse Phil got this little piece. Hold on, I just want to shake and scrape that out.
Well, that's what we're going.
Oh. There was like nothing.
Okay, loosen that one. Stop. Stop. Now loosen them all before you.
It's fun. All right. Oh.
Look at the carbon.
Oh my. Look at that. Oh, Bobby.
Look at the shit.
Yeah.
Where'd the flashlight go?
Right there.
Oh, look at the fucking bottom of it. Ay, Phil.
What is that? Is there a clip? Is that a clip of some kind?
Yep, it's a washer.
Oh, there's a gasket. Oh, geez. How about, okay, today's project is lunch.
House cleaning.
Lunch, and then we're going to go buy like 3 or 4 cans of brake clean.
Good.
All right,
Is it?
that's done.
Fucking 25 after 12.
Yeah. Here, oh, fuck, let's sit this here. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay, all the parts are absolutely clean now and looking a lot better. The burn chamber, as you can see now, is nearly brand new. That's pretty good. So the only big problem is our gasket. It did tear. However, we're going to try a reassembly, and I've got some high heat copper type silicone, and we're going to give that a try. So we're going to reinstall, or at least reassemble the heater, and then go from there, see what happens. Well, holy moly, that was a lot of work. I've still got carbon sort of oil grease on me everywhere. The camera is plugged into a USB on the ambulance because the battery has been dead since we started going at this really hard. So Rick was amazing. He helped a tremendous amount, and we basically now have the diesel heater all put back together. It's pretty much renewed, or I will even say rebuilt. The glow plug and the glow plug screen is brand new. The whole interior, the heat exchanger, and the burn chamber, ignition chamber actually, are all totally clean. And here's a couple of images of that. It was a lot of work. We used a degreaser, and then we used brake cleaner, and of course a lot of brushes to help us get that done. The hole is in the floor still. It's right here. The heater is here, not mounted yet. We're not going to run it up and test it today. I need to literally order another air intake because one of my viewers, thank you Grant, he has made a perfect suggestion, which I wasn't sure would work at first, but now that I think about it, it's going to work. We're going to run the air intake, which, as you know, is at the bottom of the heater. It's underneath right there, one of those tubes. We're going to bring that from underneath the heater outside, bring it back up, and I'm going to cut a hole in the floor, and we're going to run the air intake from the interior air of the ambulance. What that'll do is mean no dust, no water, no snow, none of that stuff will end up coming up from the rear tire of the ambulance and going into the diesel heater. Because you know what, sometimes you might need to take off from somewhere in a rainstorm or a snowstorm, and you don't want to have to take all the trouble to shut down your heater and all that stuff. Sometimes you might have to take off in a hurry. Who knows? So my job tomorrow is to get another brand new air intake tube. We're going to replace that one. The exhaust is fine, and we'll put another muffler on. I didn't like the muffler that I had on here. It was a Chinese cheapo. And then my next duties will be to cut out the area of the support here for the last chair mount that used to be here. If you recall, way back when I first got the ambulance, there's a lot of videos of that. So we're going to cut out some space to make ready for installation of the new heater, the big girl, the 4K, which is, it's over twice the size of this heater. It's incredible. It's huge. Wait till you see that. That's coming up in, I don't know, maybe the next episode, maybe the episode beyond that. I don't know. At any rate, we're going to get to it, folks. I really have to say that I love you very much. Your support is incredible. Please touch the like, subscribe, and share my channel videos with some of your friends or enemies. Maybe that's a good idea. I don't know. Anyhow, I appreciate you being here. It is amazing therapy for me to help and produce these videos for you. And the best part of it is when you say hello in the comments, and when I see subscribers getting added, and when the like gets touched. That's absolutely amazing. I appreciate it so much. I have a lot of mess in here right now. It's terrible, but you know what? That's what they call a work in progress. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time here on Primo Times.